What is up, everybody? Purger back here with another video, and today we're going to be reviewing the Galaxy Buds 4 Pro. At first I wasn't going to do a review on these, but the whole point is the sound quality. However, there are features of this that I could review. It's just I don't know how to really explain how sound works. But I'll do the best I can in this video and give you a new look at the Galaxy Buds 4 Pro. I had the original Galaxy Pros, and I had the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro. And one thing I do notice is they like to switch the design from the original pill-shaped kind of design to a square. Galaxy 1's was pill-shaped. I guess you can call it that if that's what that's called. And then it went to being a square, went to pill-shaped, then back to being a square. With these, with a transparent top. That's not me hating on it. I actually like it. But I do notice that they go back and forth here. I'm not bothering to go through all the books and stuff. I mean, all that is just different languages of a user guide. I mean, no one cares about that. As you can see here, here's your ear tips. Comes with small and large. And if it's not that, then it's medium and large or medium and smalls. And here, I gotta see if I can get this thing open. Oh, there it is. You get both large and small. Right now I think I have the medium, unless that's medium and I have the small ones in. But here's your extra ear tips in case one of them breaks, or if you need a different size. And here's the earbuds themselves. And like I said earlier, they decided to continue the Buds 3 design with the 4s and put a transparent top. This time, going back to the square design from the 2s, just without the silicone. I skipped out on the 3s because I lost one earbud on the first one, and I washed my earbuds 2s. By the way, if the case is not waterproof, the earbuds themselves are, but the case isn't, so remember to take these out your pockets just for future reference. Now let's get into the specs while we move all this out the way. For the audios and hardware specs, we have a two-way speaker system with an 11mm super wide woofer and a plain tweeter, which means good bass, clear lyrics. Audio support up to 24 bits, ultra high quality audio with 360 audio, and head tracking, codec SSC, Samsung seamless codec, microphones, 6 total microphones, 3 per bud for enhanced call clarity and noise control. So calls should be really good with this. Next, for the connectivity and features, you have Bluetooth version 6.1 with LE audio and auto switching capabilities, so very good. Switching, noise cancellation, adaptive active noise cancellation, aka ANC 2.0, with voice and siren detection. Your durability is going to be IP57 dust and water resistant rating. And your colors come in black, white, and pink gold for Samsung website only. So if you purchase it through the Samsung website, you can get a rose pink, which is cool. And for the battery life, with active noise cancellation on, it's up to 6 hours for the earbuds, 26 hours total with charging case. Active noise cancellation off, up to 7 hours for the earbuds and 30 hours with the charging case. So in total, after charges with the case, you can get up to 30 hours with it off. And the charging is a USB-C, and it also has wireless charging support. But in my testing, it actually has a little bit of a difference, so we're going to also review that. Okay, so the earbuds come in a gun black sort of color, a little bit of shine, and there is your touch capacitor right there where you can change your media or swipe up and down for volume. So now that we got into the brief design, let's get into the app and see what we got to offer. Alright, let's get into the app features. I'm going to be using my earbuds so you can hear the quality of the audio. Sounds pretty good, right? Yeah, so right now I have it in landscape mode, and I have the Z Fold 5s. I have the Z Fold 5, so it's gonna look a little it's gonna be a little small here, but the first thing we have right now is your noise control. So you can toggle this pretty much to be either off, which will give you more battery life. You can put on ambient sound so you can hear your surroundings. You can do adaptive, which goes between active noise cancellation and ambient sound. But you also have the ability, see, as I'm talking right now, it's going to ambient sound. But say, for instance, if you wanted to auto switch and turn that off, you can do that. Say you also have siren detection, and you have use ambient sound during calls. So you can toggle that on and off if you want it to enable ambient sound during your call so you can hear around you. Or you can turn it off and have noise cancellation so you can hear better, or whatever setting you have at the moment. So right now it's at adaptive. So say, for instance, if ambient sound's off, it's not going to go to ambient sound when I'm talking, but it is going to slightly put noise cancellation down. If you go to noise cancellation, you can go between the different levels of noise cancellation. And you can also have it switch to ambient noise if you are enabling switched ambient sound. So if I stop talking, it goes back to active noise cancellation, and it goes back to ambient sound. So adaptive is more of, if you have this disabled, then it's just going to lower that noise cancellation to whatever sound is being detected in your what's happening around you, basically. So I'm going to put that back on ambient or adaptive. And let's get into the earbud controls, which is right here. So you have, as I shown you, that little indent area where you can swipe up for the volume, and you can also press it. So you can customize what button does what. So say, for instance, if you want your media controls, you can disable that if you don't want it. But basically this just disables it completely to where it won't detect your finger. So swipe up and down to control volume, triple pinch for previous track, double pinch for next track, and pinch to pause once. So do it once to pause and play. You can customize the pinch and hold controls. So say, for instance, if I want to switch between noise cancellation or adaptive, something like that, I can enable that with my left earbud. Or I could choose to have it do Google Assistant, Bixby, or even launch an app on my phone. The same thing with the right earbud. You can either have your Assistant, Bixby, or an app. Or you can have switch noise controls. You can have both set to that, so it doesn't matter which one you pinch and hold to switch between that. You can set them up for both, so there's no conflict, and what you can have do what, it can be set on both if you really wanted to. So the call controls, you can enable and disable. You pinch to answer and end, and you can pinch and hold to decline. There's no other customizable options to configure that. So you can't press once to decline or switch it up, But that's how you control your earbuds. You can enable them and disable them, and only with each earbud you can choose the button it does. So voice controls, you can enable Bixby. You could do just basic voice commands, which I have off, and you can do Google Digital Assistant, which I would prefer Google Digital Assistant. Some people like Bixby. My coworker likes Bixby, but I notice Bixby doesn't always work how it's supposed to be intended, especially in noisy areas. But you could say the same for Google, except Google could do just a little bit more than Bixby. So I highly recommend going to Google. But if you're a Bixby person and like the Samsung ecosystem a lot more, and you're one of those people that likes Bixby and is like, oh no, I'm not gonna, anyway, whatever. You can choose whatever you want. It's up to you. Your head gestures now. I have these off because I don't want it accidentally to answer a call, but say, for instance, if it was enabled, then you could pretty much nod to accept or shake head to decline. You can also switch them up. Say if you want to answer a call, you can do shake head, and then the other one would be nod. But I mean, nodding is like a yes and shaking head's like a no, so why would you switch this? But it's there. I'm going to turn that back off for my personal preference. Can you turn off? Okay. Also, you have your sound quality and effects. So 360 audio is included with these. Like I said, it has head tracking, as you can see there. It's supposed to simulate a 7.1 or surround sound speaker thing, 360 audio, so it sounds like you have a 7.1 surround sound in your ears, and you also have head tracking, so that when you move your head wherever your phone is placed, say for instance, if your phone is in front of you and you turn your head left, then the sound will adjust itself to the most right of your head. So your right earbud would have most of that sound coming through, and if you turn your head the opposite way, then it'll adjust all the way to the left. So as it, just it's a sound direction thing. Although you have to be close to your phone, and as it says here, it can lag when using ultra high quality, but I don't notice much on the lagging part, just when I go away from the phone. I'm going to turn that off for my personal preference, because I'm on and off with it, so sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. You have an equalizer. You could adjust by yourself, or you could choose a preset like balance, smooth, clear, treble bass, dynamic, and bass boosted. I will say the bass in this is really good with that 11mm subwoofer, or sub, the little tiny sub in the earbuds. It has a sub, and you also have a loudness normalization. It prevents the sound from suddenly becoming too loud while playing media. So some artists have, or some songs, especially at YouTube, they may be a little higher audio than normal when they're editing it. Like, say for instance, you can adjust the sound in the editing, and some people have it like too loud and some have it too low. So sometimes you get that louder song. It's very, very rare, but depending on what you're listening to, sometimes the audio is a little too loud or a little too quiet. So it kind of equalizes that with loudness normalization. You have your app sound settings. That's if an app you're using supports it. I have nothing that uses this feature, so I can't really adjust it. You could also adjust sound to fit, so you can enable the chime when you put your earbud in. It will make a little chime when when it detects it's in the ear with the sensor. You can turn that on or off. It just lets you know if it's in your ear or fits your ear. You can there's also advanced quality options if you want that ultra high quality audio. It's a 96 hertz sample rate, and it may lag in some apps. You can enable it on or off, and if it's lagging, then you can turn it off. You can also do earbud fit tests and adaptive sound if you're, say, 30 to 60 years old and have trouble hearing. That's an option as well. Adaptive sound. It tunes the sound to give you the perfect, quality for your old age, I guess. Let's see, what else is here? There's not much other. Manage connections. You can enable calls and audio, seamless earbud detection. So this is basically your, say for instance, you have your phone and you go on a laptop or a tablet, you can seamlessly switch between them instead of having to repair it. There's a button to pair, and this one, it just, if you enable it on a Samsung device, it goes straight to it without having to repair the earbuds and then the phone and get a code and whatever. Sometimes when you pair a device, it will give you a code, say, hey, it's this code, and then press OK. You don't have to do all that. It's basically seamless earbud connection between Samsung devices. Every other devices, you're going to have to probably repair them. You can also enable auto switch to Galaxy Buds from another device. That's similar to the seamless connection, but you have more specifics in this one. So if you want to view those connections, I only have one connection, and then you got that option as well. Advanced features, you have neck stretch reminders in case you're listening for a prolonged amount of time and you're not moving your neck and it doesn't detect you're moving your neck. You can enable that to let you know, hey, stretch your neck so your neck's not hurting. In-ear detection. During calls, you can play it through the speaker when both earbuds are removed, and you can enable pause media when you take an earbud out. So if it detects you taking an earbud out, it will automatically pause your media. But sometimes I'm at work, or if you're at work and you need to hear, you have both earbuds in and then you need to take one out to hear, you might not want that to pause So you would leave that off if you're like, oh, quick detach from ear. Hey, what's up, dude? What you got? You know, you get that option. Or if you're a person that's kind of antisocial, you're not in a workplace and you just listen and you're like, all right, fuck it. I gotta do something. Take it out and it'll pause. That's in-ear detection, read notifications out loud. You can read in detail or you can read briefly. So if it's an app notification, it'll just say the app, but you can also read in detail. It'll say the app and what the app, say for instance, it'll read the entire description of the app. Play notifications even when your screen is off. You can enable that if you are on your phone, you still wanted to push to your earbuds for whatever reason, you can enable that. But if you're on your phone, I don't really see a reason why you need it to be announced in your ear, especially if you're listening to music, because that would be kind of annoying. You can also exclude some notifications through here. If you enable it, you can choose what apps you don't want to go through to your earbuds. Okay, so I actually forgot to in the video, that's why it's cutting. I forgot to cover the customize for individual apps. I'm gonna quickly do this real quick. This is just basically if you want to read in detail or read out loud in general, you can disable some to not read. You can also read briefly on some of these, and on some of these you can read in the complete detail. So if you want certain apps to read in detail and some others to read briefly, you can. Or you can even have some apps not even read at all. You also have the option to allow all. I gotta feed these cats again. And the last thing we have is labs, which for this generation only gives you a gaming mode. So if you have ultra high quality audio on, then this is not available. If you turn it off, you can get a gaming mode, which gives you low latency. As the app said, it may lag if using ultra high quality. So that's the reason why it's disabled and unavailable when you have ultra high quality, is because this is meant to prevent lag. And you can't have two settings enabled. If you have high quality audio and you're trying to have low latency, the best connection possible, it's not possible. You turn it off, then you can get your low latency. You'll probably get lesser quality audio, but you'll get your earbuds won't lag. There's a 2 millisecond, I believe, lag between the device and the earbuds. It's not noticeable because it catches up with itself by time it's in your ears. It has a fancy way of doing it, but there is a lag in between just because it's wireless that comes to your ears if you're not aware and you're not a tech nerd as much as me. But I love being informative about these things. That's why I over explain sometimes. You have accessibility, so your sound balance, noise control. I thought this was the last thing, but I called it too soon. I'm going, as you can tell, I'm going through these as we go. That's why I thought it was the end. But you have accessibilities, you have Find My Earbuds, and you have your diagnostics and audio broadcasts with an app that is supported. Your software updates, tips, and user manual, and about. I'm not going to show them Find My Earbuds because it's going to pretty much dox my location. But you can choose to play a sound, or you can choose to locate it through GPS. Diagnostic, it takes you to Samsung members, and you can do a diagnostic of whatever device you have. It's part of the Samsung members, so you may need to download an app if you choose to do this. Galaxy 4 Pros, you can go through pretty much everything. Battery, check for updates, speaker, mic, cable charging. It's going to prompt you for different things. Like your in-ear detection is going to require you to put it in your ear and see if it works. It's going to require you to do the touch sensor, different things. So just to test different things on your Galaxy Buds and make sure they're working, and overall quality of, yeah. Anyway, listen to audio broadcasts. That's with... you can choose to share your media between different devices and listen to other people's audio as well using. Lastly, as I said, you have earbud software updates, tips, and user manual about earbuds. So the earbud quality, the sound quality, is really good. Very punchy with the bass, although less punchy than the previous twos I had, but more quality in the actual lyrics and other instruments you hear in it. Like we showed in the app, there is a way to make it more bass boosted so you get that same punch or that more powerful punch in your ears. But I like to keep it on normal to hear the true quality for this testing, and also even in my normal time with these earbuds, I don't really use the EQ that much. But perfect quality, perfect bass, not too much, not too little. It's as best as I can explain it. But we also got the battery to review. That's what I'm gonna show you the testing I have had with the battery. I put some logs in so that it's as transparent as possible. Alright, so I got a little log of what I was doing each day. So the earbuds use time for one charge cycle is about 6 hours and 41 minutes, and with YouTube 6 hours and 33 minutes. If you're not watching a movie or anything with a lot of sound coming through, say for instance like a podcast or just voice with a little bit of music and whatever, that's what I was watching. Took 6 hours and 33 minutes, although it might be less if you're watching cinematical videos. Earbuds charging, it actually charges a lot faster from 0 to 50. It only took 12 minutes, and the last half took 41 minutes. Altogether 53 minutes in total. Weirdly, it has a faster 0% to 50, and then it takes a little longer because I'm thinking this is because the battery has to trickle at the end of the charge cycle. If you know how batteries work, which most of you probably don't know how batteries work. I barely know how they work. All I know is there's certain charge cycles of batteries. The first is regular, then you get to your trickling and so forth. But yeah, it took 53 minutes in total to actually charge the earbuds. 0 to 50% in 53 minutes for the earbuds. I don't know why I put case charging sound. That's actually the earbuds. My initial use, I had 100 to 0%. The case took 3 days. Regular use, I didn't calculate how long it took because at first I wasn't really gonna calculate things or even do a video. But my first 3 days, I noticed it drained the case, and the earbuds were at 55% after the case got to 0. So it takes roughly around 3 days and about 6 charge cycles to get to 55%. Because I was charging them during my lunch, which was at 11:30 to 12:30, reusing my earbuds, and then at the end of the day at 4 o'clock, I usually put them back in the case to charge. So roughly 3 days with those chargings, I got them to 55% in the case was 0, like I said. So the first case in earbuds charge, it took 26 minutes to charge earbuds from 55 to 100 on both. Now when I put the case on the charger, case got to 10% when earbuds fully charged at 26 minutes. So I was charging the earbuds in the case, and it took 26 minutes for the earbuds to get charged, and the case got to 10%. When the case got to 30%, that was about 40 minutes. 50%, it was 53 minutes. And as you can see, an hour and 18 for 80, and 100%, it was an hour and 48 minutes. So to get from 0% on the case to 100 would take almost 2 hours to charge, which is not bad. It says it's around 1 hour and 30 minutes charging time if you're at like 30% on the spec sheet of their official website. Last I checked, those were the 2s, but I don't know if they still include information. But I calculated my first day use, 2% loss overnight, so I put them on the charger at about 7:42, and then, well, no, 7:30. My first day use, I lost 2% overnight. Started playing music at 7:47. You got to 68% in 2 hours. I had some issues with audio, so it kind of messed up the test a little bit. That took 12 minutes of pause time. And 50% was at 11:04. So that's almost during my lunch break. 11:30 is my lunch break. Earbuds got at 50% in 3 hours and 5 minutes. There was no pause. Pause sessions were not included in that. So to accurately put it in perspective, it took 3 hours and 5 minutes if I count out that 12 minutes that I had issues. So we got a true 3 hours and 5 minute calculation. It got to 30% by the time my lunch was over, which in this test, the first day after the initial test, I actually went through even on my lunch break all the way until from 11:30 to 12. I still listened to music to get that test. So it got to 30% in 4 hours and 44 minutes, and at 2:23 the earbuds died, and that roughly is 6 hours and 41 minutes. I put them on the charger at 2:26. The case was at 98%. They charged to 50 at 2:38. 3:19 they fully charged. That took 53 minutes. So it's still 53 minutes. The case was 68%. The second day I started watching YouTube with the case at 64% at 7:53 a.m. And yes, it got 90%, 45 minutes. I stopped the activity at 11:30 because I wanted to actually experience my lunch, and I resumed activity. I didn't put them in the case. I left them out of the case during this paused activity. So the earbuds went from 46 to 40%, and the earbuds drained at 3:23 p.m. 6 hours and 30 minutes in total. The right earbud drained 3 minutes after that. So it was a 3-minute difference between each earbud. So the left died at 3:23 and the right died at 3:26. So they're pretty close together. You get a little more, sometimes you get a little more time with one of the earbuds depending on, I guess, certain circumstances, what it's doing. But I went to charge them at 3:28 p.m. with the case at 63. Let's skip a little over this. Fully charged with the case 29%, 4:12 p.m. Took 48 minutes to fully charge this time. And in the third day, at the very last of the case, 20% left, I started watching YouTube. I paused again at my lunch, resumed. This is without putting them in the charging case, and at 3:29 or 3:59, which is right around when I stopped work, I ended the YouTube session. My earbuds was at 21% and my case was at 19%. So by time I put them on the charger at 4 p.m., the earbuds was at 99% and the case died. I misspelled that, wow. So it took 44 minutes charging to get to 99%. And there was a little difference in 1%. So earbuds didn't fully charge before the case died. So there was a 1% loss in total. So that's what I got for the in-depth on the battery. So they stay close to around 6 hours, a little over 6 hours depending on what you're doing. But it says it's rated at 6 hours, so they're not lying. But they are giving you the minimum time you get, which actually you can get up to 7 hours with these things, which they say 6. And if it came shorter than that, then that would be like false advertising. So they made sure to get these earbuds pretty accurate. And they say 6 hours, but you can get a little more out of it, which is good. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I tried as best as possible to be as detailed as possible. I know it was a long video, but I want to make sure to cover every feature of this so that if you want to buy, you know what you're getting. Anyway, give a like if you want to see more. Subscribe if you want to see more. And give this like so it helps the channel out. Love you guys. I'll see you for the next video. Thanks for the support. Bye-bye.